A lot of debate online as to who the greatest of all time is. And again, here we go with this thing, which is just truly, it's a matter of opinion. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of opinion. But Jon Jones, who is definitely in everybody's conversation, maybe he is, maybe he isn't because of the steroids. You know what I mean? But either way, Jon Jones' name has to be brought into the conversation.
Look, man, everybody gets mad at me because they go, you just hate Jon Jones. No, I don't. It's not just it. Like, the reality is, if you have a bad test, I feel like it eliminates you.
Wait, well, what did DC say?
That Anderson Silva and Jon Jones should be removed from the greatest of all time conversation.
Because they've been popped for steroids.
I agree, man. I do. As a guy that was in there, I fucking agree. Because I guarantee I probably fought somebody on that shit. I would never accuse anybody because I don't know for sure.
And you're right. If I'm Jon, I feel the same way. I'm like, what are you talking about? Have you forgotten what I've done over the last 10 years or so? And what Jon Jones has done over the last 10 years is outstanding. But as you say, the asterisks are there and they are prevalent. They are big. They are glaring. They are glowing. They are shining like stars in the universe. The asterisks are there.
When you talk about the athletes that are eligible, I think it boils down to GSP and it boils down to Khabib. That's where I feel.
Either Khabib or George St. Pierre. Yeah, Khabib. He went out on top. He was unbeaten. He only ever lost 2 rounds in his entire career. And I don't think we'll ever see him fight again. But it's Khabib. It's Khabib. He ends up on top. He finishes on top. He retires on top. He's the champion. He's walking away, one of the biggest stars in the sport. And I just thought it was beautiful. I mean, the man has so much honor.
I talk about GSP. I did an essay on Khabib. George St. Pierre. He's a fantastic fighter, got 2 losses. One of his last fights was a split decision win against Johnny Hendricks, but he's a 2-division champion. That's kind of what separates them a little bit. But when I look at him, man, George had close fights. Khabib never really got challenged.
And he only lost 2 rounds throughout the entire course of his career. No controversy, no steroids, was never stripped.
That's why I talk about mistakes, right? George made mistakes. George made a mistake in the Matt Serra fight. Because if he wouldn't have, Matt Serra would never have beaten him. He was better, right? Khabib never made a mistake. So I think Khabib is the greatest fighter of all time.
No, I don't agree. No, I don't agree. No, I still think even right now, if you look at records, if you take away the 1 disqualification loss on Jon Jones's record, Jon Jones has been champ since he was 23. He's got, 9, 10 veterans on his record. Khabib's got 3 title defenses on his record. And, it's not comparable.
I'm not dumb enough to realize that Jon has a very, very compelling argument. He definitely does. Just for me, the performance-enhancing failures, drug test failures multiple times, which Khabib never had. With those, with the out of the cage stuff, and then with the last few fights, which a lot of people think he lost the Reyes fight, and then obviously the Thiago Santos fight was very close. Man, Khabib was just kind of, I don't want to say flawless, but he kind of was flawless in his career.
Khabib has not done everything. He has not done everything in his career. So even when we talk, and he's a good friend of mine, but even when we talk about GOAT Mountain, Khabib is not a part of the GOAT Mountain. In combat sports, he's a part of. I'm not even part of GOAT Mountain, to be quite honest with you. But even when it comes to combat sports, he's a part of that mountain.
I think that Khabib's the number 1 guy in the pound list of all time. Of all time, we've never seen dominance like this. He's never been cut. Never been dropped. We have never been in the Khabib Nurmagomedov fight and thought, "Oh my God, he might lose."
I think Khabib is he's phenomenal. He's very respectful and honorable. I think he is a stand-up role model for the sport and for people just alike. I think that's how you should act, especially us as warriors going into battle. I think that's the respect and the honor you have to give your opponent. So that's the first one. That's my thing. I think GSP did a good job of that as well. And 2, it's just Khabib's fighting prowess and style, man. Like, everyone knows what he's going to do. Everyone knows what he's going to do. And no one can stop him.
Greatest of all time currently. Some people will argue it's Jon Jones, but without a doubt for me, it's Khabib, his undefeated record, and the class that he brings as a human being.
Chill. We got to chill a little bit. So I'm drinking the Kool-Aid with you guys. I think Khabib is by far the greatest lightweight we've ever seen. So again, if you're going to throw PEDs and you say, well, he tested hot or he has all those allegations when it comes to PEDs and the snitch, then this isn't even a conversation. But if you want to entertain that, it's hard just to forget what Jon has done. I know Khabib just had this amazing performance and retired, and he has to be put on the pound for pound #1 list. As far as lightweight, there's not even a discussion there. He's by far the best lightweight, hands down, to ever do it. But when it comes to longevity, when you've beat the who's who, when you've beat equals, not only did you beat equals, you've beat them twice. It's tough just to put Khabib leapfrog over Jon Jones.
Non-PED list, I think you have GSP, Khabib, GSP, DJ, Fedor, and then Henry Cejudo, myself, kind of sliding into that last spot.
But in my take, it's Demetrius Johnson, Jon Jones, Anderson Silva, and that's it. And I would put GSP #4.
I don't. It's such a hard discussion. If you're going to have a discussion, I think you'd have to do it by era, because for one, the eras are so different. The style of fighting is so different. From '92 to 2002, and then so forth. And so on. So I don't know. Hoist Gracie obviously is first generation GOAT. Matt Hughes, GSP, all those guys that really freaking made us fall in love with the sport, at the very beginning, in 2002, in 2003, 2004. There's a lot of guys, and again, you can't really compare the two, to today's fighters, because the sport is so different. But, I'd say GSP on merit alone.
I don't really consider myself the greatest in my area, it's a subject that we can debate for a long time, the reason is you can't be people, sometimes I see young guys, they win the belt and they screaming, I'm the baddest man on the planet. I mean, there is no baddest man on the planet. Nobody is invincible. And even though you're the champion, it doesn't mean there is not another man on the planet that could beat you at that particular day, at that particular time, at that particular moment.
Talk about I'm the greatest of all time. I don't know. We have Jon Jones, Fedor, we have Demetrius Johnson, we have Henry Cejudo, we have DC, Anderson Silva. It's Fedor. It's a lot of guys. One of the best, maybe, but I don't want to talk about I'm the greatest of all time. Honestly, one of the best.